Hi, my name is Cynthia Feller, and I am doing Module 8, Legal Aspects of Teacher Evaluation. The first article that I read and reviewed was Teacher Evaluation Heads to Court. That contained a lot of lawsuits. They were filed by National Education Association, or NEA, and American Federation of Teachers. Those lawsuits included things from evaluation procedures to student test scores. To judge the teachers, they used the test scores, tabulated those in order to decide teachers' evaluation or whether they would retain a teacher or release them. Social class makes a difference. That was one of the lawsuits that different evaluation systems do not take into account the social class and how that makes a difference on the scoring. And tenure, some of it was over whether you release a teacher or if there should be tenure or there shouldn't be tenure, and that some of the evaluations were inconsistent. Those were some of the lawsuits. The second article, Teacher Evaluation, an issue overview. There was 4 factors that have changed evaluation systems. Some reasons why evaluation systems have had to change is because there's been research on the quality effective teachers making the largest impact on student learning. Also, there's some philanthropic desire to improve teacher effectiveness because that is what makes learning more successful. Also, policymakers desire to change teacher evaluations because of the research. They have found, of course, again, that teacher effectiveness makes a difference, so that they need to make sure they have great teacher evaluations. Also, the political pressure to dismiss poor teachers. Sometimes instead of trying to help them improve, they just want to dismiss them. So the evaluations have changed to try to help teachers and not just dismiss them. Also, part of that article, they talked about teacher evaluation systems. There's different systems. Schools all over the United States use different systems. Some of them are just observations. Some of them are just based on student test scores. Some of them are the VAP, which is the value added model or growth measures, or predetermined weighting formula to determine teachers' score. So that puts different emphasis on different areas to come up with a score for teachers' evaluations. Well, this is the response of teachers' unions. Some thoughts they had were, are new evaluation systems working? And then also cover some terms used in education. And teacher evaluation research and resources have all had an impact on teacher evaluations. The third article we reviewed was Teacher Evaluation, a resource guide for NEA teachers and staff. This was put out, published by NEA, and so they are saying that they feel like teachers need to help develop the policies in evaluation, that they need to be an integral part of putting together an evaluation that would help them become better teachers. Also, desire evaluations that develop effective teachers. So there would be more feedback in these, and that would help teachers improve, get suggestions and help, and reflection, help the teachers reflect on their teaching processes. Also, need a comprehensive teacher evaluation approach, not just use one system or another, so just use student scores and that's the only evaluation system you use, or if you use multiple different ones, maybe some teacher observation and some scores in there. And they also, in the resource guide, was the guide to develop teacher evaluation systems. It suggests ways that school administrators can develop a system that would work for their school. 6 principles to develop evaluation systems. The NEA suggests assessments encourage collaboration for growth, feedback on teaching standards and student learning. Evaluation systems must be integrated. include the standards, professional development, and support. Teaching effectiveness based on teaching standards. They also included teachers' input in determining performance and outcomes, and the assessment evaluations jointly developed by teachers, lawmakers, district leaders, that everybody working together would make a better assessment for evaluations. They said effective teachers, they consider an effective teacher has high expectations for all students. They say you need to look at a teacher and see if they're contributing to positive attitudes, academics, and social aspects. You also need to look at teachers, plan engaging learning opportunities and adapt as needed if teachers can do this. And NEA suggests that effective teachers develop civic and diverse classrooms, so they take that into account. And also, effective teachers collaborate with peers, leaders, and parents. So by just taking test scores, you cannot get all of these aspects to study a teacher and see how effective the teacher really is. Core teaching standards. 1, learn or develop. They can look at students. They need to know how they can develop so that they can use effective tools and means, teaching practices that will help the kids. Learning differences, you have to adapt, and so you have to take that into account and see how well a teacher is able to do that. See how the teacher sets up the environment for the students to learn, and understand content to make learning meaningful. If you know what you're teaching, you can understand it, and you can go outside the box to teach new and different ways, and connect concepts to engage learners to make the learning more fun and applicable for the kids. Some more teaching standards. Teachers use multiple assessments. See that teachers change up how they are grading kids or evaluating them. Plan for instruction. Also take into account the teacher's instructional strategies, and if they continue to learn professionally and they use ethical practices. And then leadership is about collaborating with the school leader, with the parents, with the kids, with one another as teachers. I really like these core teaching standards, and I think this is something I would like to use and rely on. Measures to provide comprehensive evaluation system. Some of these would be you do the classroom observations, which have been around for years. Student growth data on standardized tests. I think that is good. We need to see that kids are improving, but I don't think that can be a sole measurement. Teacher artifacts, things they use in the class, activities they do, student activities, student products, things they make, write. Teacher portfolios, they can gather together the different things to represent their teaching style. And teacher self-reports, I think this would be a really good one. Sometimes we are more critical of ourselves than someone else is. More measures to provide comprehensive evaluation systems. Student surveys. Give these kids a survey and see what they think of the teacher, if they're connecting, if they understand. Student engagement, how well students are doing things, staying on task. Teacher contributions to the school. Do they just do their job, or are they a part of the school? Do they help others? Are they involved in activities? Parent surveys. See what the parents think of the teachers. And the value added model, VAM. And the fourth article I read about and learned from was teacher evaluation measures and systems. Effective teachers promote student learning, and this was just the introduction part of it. So these are things I agree with, and I think most educators believe. Goal is to train and improve teachers. It's not just to see what they are doing and what they aren't. The goal should be to improve the teachers. Evaluations focus on teaching and learning, and comprehensive evaluations are best. It shows what teachers do in the classroom, what teachers contribute to the school, and what students learn. The components of successful teacher evaluation systems. There's 3 of them here I listed. Creating linked and integrated systems. We can do this by the professional development, by instructionally focused accountability, performance-based compensation, and multiple career paths, taking all that into account to make it adapted for each student so they can learn to the best of their ability. The second one was using validated evaluation measures, and the third one is establishing credibility by working together. When you're choosing a teacher evaluation systems, we need to think about the scoring and training. As a school administrator, I will need to be trained to do this, scoring, how I can score the evaluation system, and general and continue to work, and implication and interpretation. So I need to make sure the evaluation system I choose will be continue to work well in the system, and that I can understand what it is, and it shows the accurate results of each teacher. Using evaluation to improve teaching and learning. This was also part of the 4th article. Comprehensive evaluation system gathers information from all different, besides the students, teachers, how they set up their classroom, how they interact with kids, all of that. It doesn't just cover one thing. An evaluation should provide guidance and support. And that's one thing that I think is very important. We are to improve teachers so they can be more effective. Shouldn't just judge them and say this is what it is. We need to show improvement and use evidence to, according to how the teacher is evaluated, what we gain from that evaluation, help the teacher set goals and develop strategies to become better, and identify resources the teacher could use. In our school district, this is a picture of our school. We're a little Western Kansas K through 12 school. Our teacher evaluation process, our superintendent, principal, he's one and the same. He uses the KEEP online system from KSDE. He performs observations and walkthroughs. New teachers are evaluated every semester for the first 3 years, and then returning every 3 years after that. So teachers who have been here a while are just evaluated every 3rd year. The teacher recourse at Tri-Plains, if a teacher gets a bad evaluation, I will have to say not many teachers here ever get a bad evaluation. We are so small, and there is a shortage of teachers in Kansas that, we really try to help a teacher. So I don't know that there's hardly been any teachers let go per se. We try to work with people, help them to become better. The teachers can communicate with the superintendent, and that's usually what happens. Or even teachers can meet with the school board, or finally teachers could file a grievance, which I don't know that has ever happened here at this school. The legal case I found on this was Letterman versus King. It was filed in October 24th, 2014. The lawsuit talked about ranking teachers is inconsistent. The lady was effective 1 year, and the next year, even though her students had similar results on their achievement test and in the classroom, she was ranked ineffective due to how the system worked. In June 2015, the judge ruled case could continue, and then the ineffective rating was removed from her because the courts found that it was not a consistent evaluation system, and so it was removed for her. The New York growth measures remain on how they rank or test the students and show progress. Reflection on how to follow legal issues associated with evaluation process. What I plan to do as I become a school leader, principal, I plan to keep looking on Kansas Department of Education. It gives rules, regulations, how things are changing, suggestions for evaluations. I plan to follow that. Also, the National Association of School and Principals. That is an online site that I found in one of my other classes, and it has a lot of good information and professional training and some blogs from other school principals, and I think that would all be very helpful. Or even collaborate with other school leaders around our district would be very helpful to stay up to date on legal issues and how to follow those. Here's my references, and I hope you have enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to becoming a principal, and I really want to have good communication with teachers, and I want to help them to become better. And I think if you have the communication right and use a comprehensive type evaluation, that it will make teachers more effective. Thank you very much.